This article covers the critical roles that you need to fill on any complex integration project. Projects basically using the CIMcloud API to move data or share data between CIMcloud and some other software platform. That's what a complex integration project is. So just walking through this article, this is part of a series of articles that you can access this integration reference guide. There's videos and other context on articles here. We're specifically going to talk about the 8 critical roles that need to be filled. Keep in mind, these are hats or job functions. They're not necessarily full-time roles. There are several of these roles that have a kind of a sprint or two of work that they're going to do, and then they would back off. There's other roles that are more consistent throughout the overall integration project. So I'm just going to walk through these 8 roles here and then talk about a few other pieces related to filling the roles. The first one is the program manager. This is the overall business sponsor. This person has ROI responsibility for the project. They typically have budget authority. It's typically in smaller businesses, C-level executive, or maybe a VP level. But this is a business person that's green lighting the project and making sure that the proper team is assembled. This role is accountable for making sure these other roles are filled. If these other roles are not filled, you'll see I've got down here the critical 3 most common and costly mistakes. If these roles aren't filled, that's on the program manager. So the first thing is to make sure the program manager is clearly identified, and it is one and only one person. 2 people in that role equals no one in that role. It doesn't work. Solution architect is, and they're making sure that they have an understanding, and the rest of the project team has an understanding of these roles, and the roles are filled with people that have the chops to do the roles. The solution architect, there's separate videos and articles in depth on the solution architect role. This is the single most important role. You cannot miss on filling this role on a complex integration project. Most complex integrations that go wrong or go off the rails, go over budget, or miss on time, it's because this role was not properly filled with someone that had the experience and could exercise the proper judgment on both the business and technical side to make sure that the target was clearly identified. So go through more details on this role. If you only study one role in this list, go study the solution architect role. You can't miss on that one. The technical planner, this is a technical guru. They're going to receive a couple documents from the solution architect. That's all outlined in this playbook, the data mapping sheet, and a go live takeover plan. And they're going to build the technical plan. So if the solution architect is deciding what to do, the technical planner is deciding how to do it. So they're responsible for making sure the technology can be built or purchased and configured. And it can be deployed, it can go live, it can be supported and monitored and maintained. That's all part of the technical planner's job. And that they've got a game plan. They should have a written document, at least one, that outlines what's happening with the technical plan. The project planner is responsible for making sure there's a plan to go from start to post go live and projects shut down successfully, and that plan has all the work identified and who's doing the work. So they should be studying the content that's here in these playbooks. There are some example plan documents that we've got in here, plan document templates, and other that they can use or leverage. And the project planner's got to have deep experience on projects, integration projects like this. If they don't, they need to do heavy hand-holding with someone that does, and that person should probably be the one that does the project plan. You can't do an effective project plan without having deep domain knowledge on that type of project, any more than someone doing engineering drawings to build a massive bridge or intersection on interstates could do that successfully without having gone through that experience multiple times themselves and seen it. So it's critical the project planner has domain expertise on what's being done. Otherwise, they're going to have blind spots. The project manager, this is the job. This person's job is to make sure the project gets done, the scope gets done on time and on budget. So they are leaning on the project planner's plan They don't have to have deep domain knowledge. It helps if they do, but they don't have to have deep domain knowledge of what's here. They just have to be organized and keep all the other parties accountable and making sure they're executing the project plan and communicating risks. They're also going to keep track of two other things that we recommend, best practices. We recommend they have recurring meetings, and there's an agenda that we recommend that they go through. If you're a professional project manager going through this, have at it. The stuff we're doing is a simplified version of things that you might learn going through a PMP certification, but they're effective, and it's kind of the core essence of project management. But the project manager's job is responsible for delivering the scope on time and on budget. There could be one and only one project planner, one and only one project manager. If you have two people project managing, you have no one project managing. There needs to be one person that's responsible and that can get it done. And then for integration projects, we recommend having a CIMcloud consultant. This should be mandatory, at least getting an allowance with a deep subject matter that has deep subject matter expertise on the CIMcloud platform. They're going to help the solution architect. In the analogy that I give, if you're integrating two platforms, one speaks French, the other one speaks German. The solution architect is fluent in both languages, and they can get into the deep nuances of each language with the consultant who has the deep PhD level understanding of those languages. That's what the consultants are going to do. So the consultant is not going to replace the solution architect. They're going to support and be a sounding board and advice for that person. They can also help the technical planner and the developers as they're getting into the nuances of hitting APIs or integrating and moving data back and forth between the platforms. So you will have someone that wears this hat. And again, you may have people wearing more than one hat. It's cool if you do. We'll talk about that in a second. And then a developer or developers who's actually going to be coding out the technical plan. That may be the same person that did the technical plan. That's fine. So assigning roles. We have a role assignment sheet that's in some of the sample documents that we recommend use that has descriptions and links to the different articles related to these roles. But you should have an assignment sheet that everyone sees and everyone knows the name of each person that's in the role. Or if you have more than one person in the role, like developers, you could. The ones that say one and only one, like the program manager, project planner, lead project manager, and solution architect, make sure it's only one person in there in that role that's taking the lead there. And then each person must what we call GWC. We stole this from another framework, but they get it, they want it, and they have the capacity to do the job. They've got to be a resounding or enthusiastic yes on all three of those. If you're iffy on it, you have the wrong person in the seat. If you're in one of those seats and you're iffy on GWC in the role, you need to communicate that up to the project manager or program manager. And either learn to fill that gap with the GWC or work with them to get someone that can adequately do the job. People can fill multiple roles, as I said. That's acceptable. They can wear more than one hat. The three most common and costly mistakes is solution architects not assigned or not qualified. So a lot of times we go into projects, most of the time, if I've gotten involved in escalations on projects to figure out where it's going off the rails, I can go right back to the team or these planning documents and find glaring gaps that are the root underlying cause. That's why we call these the foundational pieces. This is foundation number one. The documents is foundation number two. If you have those sound, generally the projects go pretty well. So solution architects not assigned or qualified. Mistake number two, the lead project manager is not assigned or qualified or has poor project management skills. You pluck someone in that's not organized. They're not assertive enough to project manage. They don't understand that it's their job to deliver this project on time or on budget, or they can't motivate or keep track or keep accountable to people. That's all required for the project manager. The people don't have to work for them. They just have to be good at making sure they're holding people accountable or communicating problems if people aren't accountable for getting things done up to the program manager levels. So those things can be addressed. And then the lead project manager is not assigned or doesn't have the experience needed. So the experience needed, again, I mentioned that is deep subject matter expertise on projects like this. That's needed for a project manager, or they're going to have massive blind spots in their plan, which is going to produce unrealistic schedules, unrealistic budgets, or missed work that then creates loopbacks and all kinds of problems. So those are the three most common and costly mistakes. The good news is you know that now. You can fill these with the right people. If you need help and you don't have people, you need to do a project but don't have the people, let us know. We probably have partners that we could introduce you to that can help you fill the gaps in these 8 critical roles. So good luck with the project, and don't shortcut these 8 critical roles. I think you'll find that it is, like I said, 2 pieces of the foundation of success. And keep your eye on the solution architect role. Don't miss on that one. Good luck.